do an impression of it.
Hello.
Hello, yet again, me and Josh are playing the game of who can make someone say some dumb shit at the opening to the podcast. Even though we can both see the countdown happening on the screen, so we know it's going to
Yeah.
start recording any freaking second. Oh dear, how you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm fucking living the dream. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna preface this episode, right? So before I had any idea how this week was gonna play out, I had an idea to do to do an episode, and I've completely forgotten what I've called it now. Um, Basically along the lines of what to do when things don't go to plan. Um, that's what the episode is called, and for a whole bunch of reasons this is super relevant this week in particular. Now, the main thing I was going to talk about was training. Um, from my training to begin with, but it is where it came into my head. But then, literally the same day, it was also because of what had happened to influence Josh's training as well. Which, by the way, you're safe on that matter now, but we'll talk about that in a second. Um, so I guess let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode straight away because we're already on it, and we'll definitely diverge later on. But this is all about how to manage mainly training, but also other aspects of life when shit doesn't go to plan. Because numerous opportunities, as you will all already know, things just don't go to plan all the time. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Sometimes it looks worse at the beginning, but then it gets better, and sometimes it looks okay, and then it goes to shit. But the thing is, you just take control of what you can, and that is the common thing that you can do.
Very true. Preach.
Preach.
Yeah.
So let's start off with your situation, Josh. So Josh was going to just obviously doing his 15K swim. And I'm very glad I told you this because I'm a bit worried that if I hadn't, what could have gone wrong? But there was a massive sewage pipe leak in our local area, which means that Josh couldn't go in the sea. One of my clients got very ill, and the Facebook groups here are funny as hell because so many people are just like, this sounds a bit harsh after saying it like that, but so many people around here are so ill at the moment from being swimming, and they are just, no pun intended, giving some shit on Facebook, and it is quite entertaining to watch. But yeah, so that was obviously it has held you back from getting in the water this week. So that is a knock to your plans. So how do you
Yeah.
feel about that, Josh?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's interesting because I have the sewage app. So Surfers Against Sewage have an app that does alerts for sewage. It didn't come up on it.
It didn't come up on there. You're right, and that is interesting. So, basically, today it got the all clear, but they're still stipulating that it is still. They're saying it should be okay to swim, but you're swimming at your own risk. So, I don't know if you're aware of actually what happened. Do you know what happened?
I
So,
have absolutely no idea. No. This is the
okay,
problem. If you don't like, because Facebook groups are so mental, it's like warfare in there. I usually stay out of them. So I don't pay attention. I just get in a sea and go, ooh, do, 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 do. So I would have swallowed poop. So
so
what
you
happened?
would have, and you would have got ill. So for context, in the mornings I subcontract out to another local gym and do their strength and conditioning, and I train a lot of marine biologists, which is how I found out about all this in the first place. So a few months ago, if you've been listening to the podcast, you may remember that me and Josh swum across Falmouth Harbour. Now, on the opposite side, it's called the Castle to Castle. The opposite side, there's something called St Mawes, and there's a castle there. That's the one we swam to. Now, on that place, there is a big sewage pipe that runs uphill, so it gets pumped uphill. Now, something caused that pipe to rupture, and because it's getting piped uphill and there was no longer any pressure, gravity is going to take effect, and 150 metric tons of shit went straight back into the sea.
Dude.
Yeah, and so that is what happened. That is what caused this. So it was literal human shit. 150 tons of it goes straight back into it,
I've seen so
and
many people
that's
getting
what
in
caused
as
it.
well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we went past Giddy the other day, right? And there was a bunch of people in, and Giddy is like for content, like what is that? Like half a mile away, three-quarters of a mile away, Giddy Beach
Yeah,
from St. Maur's, something like that. Oh,
yeah,
no, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be about 2 miles actually.
yeah, yeah.
But there's people are like the excuse they said, not the excuse, but what they said as a way to like try to soften the blow is like, oh, it's okay. The Pendennis headland, the point, will block the sewage from getting across. And like it's the sea. That's like back in the day when you used to have a no smoking area in a room. The smoke doesn't fucking know. It's not going to avoid
Yeah.
going to that area just because you said it's a no smoking area. The shit will follow whatever the current's doing in the water and it will make its way across to it. And lo and behold, a bunch of people got ill. So yeah, that is what you've had to contend with.
Yeah, lucky. I'm going to see. So, oh, I was hoping to get in tomorrow, so we'll see.
It's saying you
Um,
can, yeah. But
well, fuck
it's
it.
up to
If
you.
I die, I die. Now, my situation, obviously, is quite niche. But just because I can't swim doesn't mean that I can't do something.
Hmm.
So, just because I can't swim in the sea doesn't mean I can't get in a pool. And if you can't get in a pool, doesn't mean I can't go to the gym. There is things, there is step downs of every situation. And so that's what I've done. I've gone to the gym. I've got in a pool. So that's what I'll do in those situations. I think what commonly happens, which I find with like new clients, is they'll that one thing they can't do. Screw it. I say I can't do anything. Now
Hmm.
actually, there's options. So for me, yeah, it was a bit annoying because I actually really this week I was like, I really want to get a big swim in, because I need to, and obviously I haven't.
And doing
So
that in a pool is so much
boring as hell,
more
man.
soul. Yeah, yeah, soul destroying.
And I went to a pool and I forgot I don't have kids, so I don't realize what time of year it is. It's bloody summer holidays, isn't it? So it's just full of people. So I didn't spend as much time as I wanted to in there because the kids throwing balls everywhere, and you're just like, oh, for God's sake. So I just get out. But yeah. So yes, it's frustrating when things don't go to plan. Can be exceptionally frustrating. But as I was talking to my wife about something else the other day, and there is all I can do is act. There's nothing else I can do. I can complain, and that's fine, and I will complain because I'm quite good at that. If you've ever been in a car with me, you'll understand. Um, but or if you've ever trekked across Dartmoor with me, you'll understand that I will
Don't know what you're
complain.
talking about, mate.
But I, all I can do is act, and I have no issue with people giving it shit and complaining if at the same time you're doing something about it. You know.
I say that to all
So
my clients. It's like you can complain as much as you want. I don't care because you're
yeah,
still doing the work. If you stop doing the
yeah,
work, then I'll have something to say about it. But yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing.
My God, the amount of abuse I take from my clients throughout the week. I have some abusive clients, and still they get on with it, but they just have to get it off their chest. That's fine. It's not a
Hmm.
problem. Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, all you can do is act, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's it. Like it's taking control of the situation. It is what are the variables that are in your control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so mine isn't quite as drastic as yours in terms of, although we have a joint one that is very drastic, which we'll speak about in a second. Um, we so I was doing a run. I was doing another half marathon distance. Actually, it was a little bit over. I was hoping to get to 26 kilometers, but I only made 22 and a half. I should give myself a pat on the back, really, considering that I hadn't ever run more than freaking 10K before a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I ran 22 and a half K. But the mistake I made, and this is where I planned it out, but I didn't plan it out properly. But I'm not really that fussed about it, and I'll explain why in a minute. Because there is a there is a lesson coming at the end of this. There is a moral to this story, and it's something that we are quite good at Horizon. We're very good at it. But basically, what happened is I plotted it out through a mapping software. I used OS Maps and then done it through Garmin as well. And what I didn't realize, the first hour of my run was so ridiculously technical and varied. and shit that it messed me up. So it was a 3 hour run. I only managed 7.5k in the first hour. So basically, the first kilometer was lovely. Now, the next six were horrible. Actually, I'm going to say the next five. The last one wasn't too bad in that first hour. But it took me up through hills in between trees, up through like roots and knots and stuff like that. Then it took me across footpaths that were on like a little bit of a slant. So that's never nice. It's like walking across a headland where you've got that like slanted footpath. But then, as like the coup de grace, it was raining and it turned out I had to run through the sea. So there's a place called Falmouth Dock. No, it's not Falmouth Docks. Falmouth Boatyard, I think it is. And the footpath actually goes down onto the shore. I thought it went on the field above it, drops down into the shore, and I had to clamber over rocks. I have got a video of it. I just haven't edited it and put it out yet. And I literally had to clamber over rocks, and I got to a point where, of course, there was no rocks to climb over and I had to run through the sea. So I stopped in a little shed, wrung out my socks, and then had to keep on going. Um, so that stopped me achieving what my goal was of the 26k. But I adapted, I overcame, and I'd done what I could, and I wasn't disappointed because I understood what that's the nature of trail running, right? It's not road running. You're going to come across this stuff.
This is also an interesting I think another thing here is that was the workout that you had to run 26k, or was the workout that you had to run 3 lots of 50 minutes with a 10-minute rest?
Yeah, exactly right. So the workout was 3 times 55-minute runs with 5 minutes rest. Yeah, yeah. So I've done that.
Yeah, so exactly, that's my point, and I think is that quite often the goal or the workout you've been given or the task that you've been given is something specific, but people then put a number on that. So, like for instance, I quite often program at the a last set max reps. Right, so an AMRAP for the last set. How many reps can you do in this set? And people will put a number in their head, like, "Oh, I have to hit 20." That's not my goal here. My goal here is just for you to hit your max reps. It's just for you to get to failure. But people will put a number in their head and then get disappointed if they don't hit that number, even though that was not the purpose. Right? The purpose for you was to just get time on the feet, a certain amount of time on the feet. But you set that, I want to hit this amount of time in that time. Actually, that was not the purpose of the run. The purpose
completely
of the run
arbitrary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely arbitrary. And quite often people set themselves these numbers or specific points that they need to reach when that was not the goal of the thing in the first place. So if you complete the thing, so if you walk a marathon and you wanted to complete that walk marathon in 6 hours, for instance, which is quite fast.
That's quite fucking fast, yeah.
But you didn't. It doesn't matter. The goal was just to walk a marathon. So don't beat yourself up if you didn't put it in the time that you set yourself. Quite often people set themselves unrealistic times anyway because they don't really know.
Case in point, I've gone from with the marathon that I've got in 4 weeks. I've now gone from really, really hoping I could do it in less than 5 hours to realistically thinking 7 is a good goal to have. Just because now I know I've got a much more better idea of what I'm capable of, and I might be able to do better than that at some point. So, what the biggest point before we move on to a very recent story that has just happened in our lives, and I keep on teasing this, I will keep on teasing it. But before I do that, one of the things that what we do through our training, what differentiates Horizon and just the way we coach in general, especially when we do things like our public speaking, when we speak to companies and corporate clients about ways to manage mindset and shit like that, is that we specifically want to get you to expect roadblocks, to expect unexpected stuff to happen. You're not just, it then becomes part of the way I look at it is if you want to do if you want to get adventure ready, whatever the hell that means to you, if you want to go on a holiday where you're going to do fun stuff, you may have planned it, but you've planned it in a way that you want to experience something unexpected, something unknown. So if you can
Hmm.
start to apply this to things that have gone slightly more off plan than you're expecting, then
Hmm.
that's fine, because that is the whole. We don't remember the days that are just like the day before. The things that we remember are the days that are different. Okay, so
Hmm.
don't be upset when shit starts to go off plan, because that's where character and stories are built. It's not with the mundane everyday stuff, it's when things start to take a left turn and it goes
Hmm.
completely the wrong way.
And this is why training's so good for that. And I say this a lot to my clients, because when sometimes a client will have a bad training day where they just feel tired, they don't feel great, and they're just like, I just don't. Why is it? They start complaining. Why is it like this? They start to get really demotivated, and I don't know where I got these numbers from, and I don't even know if it's completely true, but it does feel kind of right. And it was, I say this to my clients a lot of the time. Your workouts are not going to feel great every workout. The Generally, like 20% of your workouts are going to feel great. 20% of them are going to feel god awful, and about 60% will just feel fine. And when you get used to that aspect, you'll realize that that kind of transfers over into everything. Like if you're going on a big through hike, something's going to happen. How many times have we done it now where we've gone, oh, we forgot something, or we was expecting sunshine and the weather changed. We ran out of water, we got lost. Something started hurting. It's gonna happen. But if we then, as soon as one of those things happened, went, that's it, I'm going home. Like, what am I gonna do? Walk home from the middle of Dartmoor? I might as well keep going, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And look, the drasticness, if that's a word, of the scenario you're trying to plan for, then that's where you tighten up what could go wrong, right? You tighten up as much as you can. But if it's not a life or death situation, like allow for a little bit of fucking carnage, allow for a little bit of
Hmm.
chaos, because again, that's what creates interesting stuff. Like that is what life is built on. You don't want to do the same mundane stuff. Uh,
Hmm.
I I can't really remember many stories about where one day was just the same as the other, but I can remember plenty of stories where shit went wrong. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's where the character comes from. It's like it also gives you a chance to prove to yourself how you overcome how you overcome it, how you adapt on the fly, and how you deal with anxiety is a big thing nowadays, right? A lot of people have anxiety. I I'm not gonna lie, I felt a fair amount earlier on. Again, another tease of something to come. But the anxiety is like fear of the unknown, and it's reacting to something before you know what that thing is going to be, which is almost stupid, but it doesn't. It's still human nature, so you can't just switch it off. But if you can learn to find a little bit of excitement in that chaos, then you're gonna deal with it better.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, as an example that's not training, a few years ago now, I don't know. I don't know if we told this on the podcast, but I got made redundant. Um, so I got this was just before me. Well, we started our podcast and we were doing the original one then, and I got made redundant from the gym that we both worked at. Turns out the business was going under. We didn't realize at the time, and yeah, is what it is. And I could then have like fully freaked out, and not saying that I didn't freak out. Obviously, I freaked out a little bit, but I could have like fully gone off the rails and it'd been terrible. But then my life would be in tatters. So,
Hmm.
so in that time, I think because of just the resilience that's built through training and whatever you done in my life, maybe managed to pull it all together. And actually, I've not really been employed since
No,
because I just
you
thought,
haven't
fuck
been
it.
employed, have you? You've just subcontracted out for a couple of days. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly the
I just
same.
went,
Yeah.
well, shit. And then I ended up
Hmm.
having to set up a garden business. We set up our thing,
Hmm.
um, and just did what you can. But that's because, yes, I was anxious. Yes, I was stressed. Yes, I complained a bit. But acting is what's really important. And if I just sat in my shit and freaked out and didn't do anything, then yeah, I would have probably lost my house. So
Yeah.
instead, you take a step forwards, and I think the that's taking that step forwards is definitely a byproduct of regularly putting yourself through difficult shit.
Yeah. And the more you take a step forward, it doesn't matter what kind of scenario, but the more
Hmm.
evidence you'll have to know that you can change a situation. Now, there was I can't remember what the podcast was, but it was basically um, it was some military person. It was interviewed in a book that I was listening to about lessons and mindset and stuff like that. And the whole idea around it was that he stepped into the war room where everyone was just debating. They were just fucking talking about it, and no one was taking any action. And he came in and said, "Okay, cool, we're gonna do this. Let's do it now." And then after the meeting, someone said to this guy who made the decision, "Is like, how do you know that's the right decision?" And he said, "I don't, but we're going to know whether it's the right or wrong one within 24 hours, and then we can act off of that information." So that is where making a decision and taking action, it gives you the opportunity to then pivot quicker instead of just sitting there panicking for 5 days, not knowing what to do. The moment you take action on it, it gives you a reference point, it gives you data, and it gives you something to work off of. Oh, Josh, your recording has stopped. Something went wrong and they're not being recorded anymore. Everyone else is still being recorded. Ask Josh to refresh, then join from a regular browser, not incognito. Hello? Can't hear you. It said refresh. I don't know if that's what you were doing. Still can't hear you. Josh's recording has stopped. Okay, I can hear you now, but it's still saying you're not recording.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're recording now as well. Yes,
We're
I can
back.
hear you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, my computer just told me that Josh needs to stop using incognito mode, so I don't know what you've been looking at to warrant incognito mode, Josh,
I'm
but
literally have never used incognito mode on this computer. I don't even know how to use incognito mode on a computer. I know on
neither
my
do I.
phone, just not on my computer.
uh, so when things don't go to plan,
Yep.
um, so there you go, like perfect timing for our lesson. That just definitely wasn't part of the plan. We had a complete and utter technical failure there, but that's cool. We're
Yeah.
back and we're good. Um, so, Josh, do you want to explain why we're having to now make another massive pivot again on something that hasn't gone to plan?
Yeah, so me and
Be
Jack
be
have
very nice about it, though. Just in case we don't know who's listening.
me and Jack have been working, have a little gym currently on somebody's land, and we've been handed our notice for the place. We've got 2 months to leave the space, which is completely fair, and we have 2 months to figure out, find a new space, find somewhere that we can work out of, or we potentially lose all of our in-person clients. So
Just for a little bit more context, this has all happened in the last 24 hours.
this happened yesterday.
This
Yes,
happened
this has
yesterday.
happened yesterday.
Um,
So yeah,
So
and this
next
is the
time we record an
conversation I was having.
episode, over the next 8 weeks, you might just hear me and Josh like deteriorate into absolute and utter carnage. But the thing is, I mean, if you want to talk about taking action, I think in the last 24 hours, despite working, despite having clients, despite doing everything else, we have taken action that
Very
has
quickly.
yielded some quite impressive results in a very little amount of time. So, there's everybody is going through their own thing. Everyone will have these struggles. Everyone's plans don't go to plan. The difference is how people deal with that thing. When people don't have a choice, sometimes people just give up. Other times, there's always a choice. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There is always a choice. It's a choice of inaction and anxiety, or it's a case of action. Still, the anxiety is there, but at least you're trying to take control of it. Anxiety is just a lack of control. So the more you can control a situation, what's within your control, and focus what's in your control, not what's out of it, then the better off you're going to be.
Exactly, as I said, all you can do is act, right? So
Hmm.
I've had my rant, and I've done what I need to do, and I will probably be walking around going fuck for a few days, but that's normal for me. But I will still do. You've got to take that step forwards. Otherwise, it's fire and brimstone. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. And who knows what things are going to lead to? I don't want to be too. Um, I don't want to. I'm going to touch wood here. I want to be optimistic, but I don't want to be overconfident. But all I'm going to say is it could work out to be the best thing that ever happened to us because we were limited in our last place, but we were also comfortable. And that
that
comfort trap,
yeah,
we've talked about it before. We've talked about that
yeah.
comfort trap. We've been trying to make plans to secure somewhere else, but I think we've proven to ourselves in the last 24 hours that we probably weren't trying hard enough, and now we understand what it means to
Hmm.
try hard enough. So
Yeah.
everything is a reference point, and everything makes you grow as a person if you take the opportunity for it to.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I think we got a little bit comfortable where we were,
Hmm.
and that's fine. We've learned our lesson now. But like I said before, I got made redundant. You ended up leaving the place, and we ended up doing things that we never thought were possible. We
Hmm.
we did loads of public speaking. We managed to keep. We managed to not set up our own business and not work for anybody.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, it's cool. We've gone and done some cool stuff. So it's fine. We just gotta do it again.
Do you know what I keep on forgetting as well? It seems like we've been doing this for a long time, and we have, but we actually only it's only been 2.5 years since we just left that, and we've tried a lot in these last 2.5 years because we
Mm,
never really found something that stuck. We mentioned this on the previous episode as well. Um, we get annoyed sometimes thinking about all the things that to the outside we worry it looks like we're stopping and starting, but I'd say it's more refining each time, working out what we do and
yeah,
don't want to do.
figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah, figuring it out. And it's been 2.5 years through necessity more than anything else. And I think now we've truly landed in a place where, okay, we know what we want to do. We have a vision. We just we need a plan on how to make that vision work. And everything that happens to us, negative or positive, will take us closer to that vision. Or it will make us go insane, and I'm just going to move to China and live with a freaking monk for the rest of my life. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Who knows what's gonna happen? Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah,
the moral is like you can complain about the rain, that's fine, but you need to understand that nothing's going to freaking that's not going to change the fact it's raining. Okay, um, it's okay. Like you can complain about your coffee being lukewarm. I will only accept that complaining if you go back and ask for it to be changed. If you haven't got the guts to go do that, drink your fucking lukewarm coffee and shut the fuck
yeah. Or to put it in
up.
a microwave. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I had no issue with people complaining
Hmm.
if you need to like rant and get it out. Like, I'm quite as I said, I'm quite outspoken in that kind of aspect. Like, I often just swear and fucking get say stuff, and I mean no ill intent by it. I just get it out. But as you said, as long as you're taking that step forwards
Hmm.
to do something about it, as long as you keep going, is fine. And as long as you're not actually just being really mean to people as well.
It's and there's nothing wrong with having contingency plans as well, by the way, guys. Like if things don't go to plan and you need to pivot, but you've already got a plan for that as well, that's good. But you just be a little bit ready for stuff to go wrong, and that's what we. I realized this a couple of days ago. I was walking, so I walk my dog every day for quite a long time, and I get left with my thoughts quite a lot. And I was just thinking, like, we inadvertently train people. That is like another concept of Horizon that I didn't really realize before. But people that are attracted to how we train people, to how we train, are people who want to experience something unknown, even if they are planning for that thing, like an adventure holiday. And they will become more resilient, more mentally resilient, and physically resilient because they have to overcome unknown things.
Mm. So if anybody's listening to this, if you're going through some stuff right now, there's a kink in your armor, or there's something's getting in the way, let us know, talk about it, and then tell us how you're pushing on anyway.
Josh loves kinky armor.
I do. Yeah, any kind of armor, to be honest. Do you know what? That would be cool, is if we just had armor, like, and then just fought each other. Like, I think this is completely off piece, but I keep watching videos of that medieval MMA, and I wish it was down here in Cornwall.
You think he's joking, ladies and gentlemen? He is not. He has sent me reels about this stuff before, saying we should do this. It scares me a little bit.
Instantly in if it was down here. That'll be it. I'll be putting on a piece of armor.
I would definitely do it. This is weird. So literally about an hour ago, no, it must be more than that now. A couple of hours ago, I saw a reel of someone saying, talk about going off on the tangents, because we didn't do it at the beginning, so we can go off on our tangent now. So I saw a reel of someone says, do you want to see what a real medieval British knight would have looked like? And so they found a skeleton near a castle, and this guy is from 1100 and something. And he was in his late 20s. He had a lot of wounds, the worst looking of which, his skull was cleaved right through the forehead, but that's not what killed him. That was an axe wound through the forehead. That didn't kill him. He actually died of an arrow. I can't remember whereabouts it hit him. And they just done a 3D reconstruction of this guy, and I was like, he looks like a freaking hard bastard. To be fair, yeah, a mess, but also a hard bastard. I was like, yeah. And another thing, resilience of things not going to plan. I was speaking to one of my clients, Graham, about this earlier on. How the hell, right? This running has opened my eyes to something, because I've been watching Game of Thrones, House of Dragon as well, right? How in the flying fuck did people used to run and walk as far as they did in whatever they called footwear back then? That is mental. Like, the humans we can do a lot more. Granted, they probably used to die at 41 years old, but
less than that. It would be earlier than that, wouldn't it? It would be like late 20s. Even you'd be lucky if you hit 30.
But it's like, we can withstand some punishment, and I think it's intelligent. So there's that word that you love. That's context that I can't bother to fill in right now, but there is I think it's smart. I think it's intelligent to probably throw yourself into something that really tests your resilience every now and then as well.
Yeah, as long as it's not something as big as this every 3 years, I'll be all right.
Yeah, that'd be handy. Yeah, that'd definitely be handy. But yeah, no, it's all good. What have you got for dinner tonight, Josh?
Don't know yet. I need to go and look what's in the fridge. I've got some meal prep of some kind.
Do you know what? I don't actually know what I've got either.
I think probably butter chicken.
Nice. That is very good. I have become a big fan of tuna rice salad.
That's awful, and I disrespect you.
I used to hate it until very recently, when two cans of tuna and a ramekin full of rice with some peas is amazing. Something's just happened on your recording, so this could be a good time to say goodbye anyway.
Okay, I don't know what's going on.
Your mic's just gone off. You're speaking through something else. Okay, well, it's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call that a day, because we need to eat. It is 8:15 in the evening, and I've got to feed some dogs and feed myself.
Bye.
Bye.